My name is Phil Kearney, and I am an associate professor in skill acquisition, coaching, and performance at the University of Limerick.
Hi, my name is Dr. Frank Nugent. I'm an associate professor in sports science at the University of Limerick, Ireland.
My name is Drew Harrison. I'm an emeritus professor at the University of Limerick.
Together, we have authored the chapter Distinguishing the Truth from the Myths, the Dual Axis Framework. The chapter opens with a quotation from the American astronomer, science communicator, and skeptic Carl Sagan. He emphasized the need for scientists to balance an openness to new ideas with being skeptical and rigorously scrutinizing the evidence for these ideas. In sport, coaches and scientists meet a lot of ideas about how to improve performance and how to accelerate recovery. So achieving this balance between openness and skepticism is vital. In this chapter, we present a process which practitioners can use to aid their decision-making, the dual axis framework. So Drew, what is the dual axis framework?
The dual axis framework is on the screen. We begin with an understanding that all credible science is underpinned by evidence from research, and therefore at the center of the framework is our research space. The vertical axis places the latest ideas at one end and established practice at the other end. The horizontal axis describes the strength of evidence supporting a practice or treatment. The two axes form a grid with four quadrants. In the lower left quadrant, we see the latest ideas or novel practices that may have minimal or weak supporting evidence. Since these ideas or practices are new, they could be worthy of investigation to determine whether evidence can be found to support their continued use. If research uncovers evidence supporting the practice, then the practice may move towards the lower right quadrant and become an innovative practice that we might introduce to training or performance. Over time, with more evidence from research, these innovative practices could become established and progress to the upper right quadrant, where they become evidence-based practice. This is where we should be. These practices should be the core elements of our training and performance. Unfortunately, this ideal is not always achieved. Sometimes ideas or practices become established despite a lack of supporting evidence. These established practices that lack robust evidence are the myths that occupy the upper left quadrant, and these are the practices that we should debunk.
Dual axis framework can be used by one person on their own or to structure a discussion between a group of practitioners. However, to use it well, there are a number of factors that need to be considered in order to make good decisions. The chapter continues by discussing these factors, such as why personal experience is a poor source of evidence, how effective interventions may not work for everybody, the value of deterministic evidence based on laws of science or mathematics. Finally, the role of evidence-based practice using a balanced integration of your professional judgment and careful evaluation of the scientific literature.
We are all members of the Sport and Human Performance Research Centre here at the University of Limerick. If you would like to let us know what you think about the chapter, and especially how you got on with the practical activity that we suggest at the end of the chapter, please reach out using any of the contact details that are there on the screen.